Picture this. You're standing in the produce aisle, holding a beautifully ripe organic apple in one hand and a perfectly packaged organic mango in the other, and you're just feeling completely paralyzed by the choice. On one hand, you really want to support nearby farmers, but on the other, you are craving that tropical fruit. Well, welcome to this explainer, where today we are finally settling the great organic debate: local versus imported. We're going to dive into the data to figure out exactly what these choices mean for your health, your community, and the planet. You know, there's a really common assumption out there. We hear it literally all the time. Local is always better. And it feels intuitively right, doesn't it? But as we're going to see as we go through this, the food system is vastly more complex than just a simple geographic radius. So we're going to systematically unpack this oversimplification and show you exactly why the answer to which is better is actually pretty surprising. Here's a quick look at our roadmap. We'll cover the organic food choice, define local versus imported, tackle freshness and seasons, look at the environmental impact, and finally, how to make smart, balanced choices. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the organic food choice and making sense of the grocery aisle. Organic food has become incredibly popular across the board, and with that popularity comes a dizzying array of options. But before we pit them against each other head-to-head, I want to emphasize a core takeaway right out of the gate. There are absolutely no bad choices here. Both local and imported options offer really unique benefits for a healthy, sustainable diet. It's really all about making informed purchasing decisions that line up with your personal health goals, your budget, and your environmental values. Moving right along to section 2, local versus imported defined, and knowing your food's origin. First up in the ring, local organic food. While the exact definitions can kind of vary depending on who you ask, it generally means food produced within a relatively short distance from where it's sold and consumed. We're talking about nearby farms, local agricultural communities, and regional producers. The massive appeal here is transparency. As consumers, we love knowing exactly where our food comes from and having a direct connection to the folks who actually grow it. On the flip side, we have imported organic food. This refers to organic products grown outside your local region, state, or country. And why do we import? Well, mostly because of climate. Think about it. If you live in a freezing climate and you're craving coffee, tea, or cocoa in the dead of winter, those plants simply cannot survive in your local snowdrift. Imports exist to meet those highly specific climate requirements. So the contrast is pretty clear. Local organic champions, shorter distances, nearby farms, and a very strict seasonal focus. Imported organic, however, champions out of region or international origins to leverage specific climates. Basically, local gives you proximity, imported gives you incredible global dietary variety. Which brings us to section 3, freshness and seasonal availability, the ultimate battle for taste and variety. When it comes to pure freshness, local food usually takes the crown. Because these foods travel much shorter distances, they reach your plate a lot quicker after being harvested. And that translates directly to better texture and a fresher taste. Plus, there is significantly reduced storage time, meaning you're eating that produce at its absolute peak, which naturally aligns your diet with what the earth is producing right now in your specific area. But hold on. Imported foods offer a massive counterbalance to that freshness argument. They provide us with year-round access to nutritious fruits, vegetables, and specialty products that are simply impossible to find locally. For a lot of households, having access to these imported foods is exactly what helps them maintain vital nutritional diversity all year long. You shouldn't have to give up your favorite healthy organic specialty grains just because it happens to be snowing outside, right? Let's dive into section 4, the environmental footprint. Beyond food miles. Now, this is where things get really fascinating, because the environmental debate is way more nuanced than you might think. It goes far beyond just food miles. It's a super common assumption that because local food travels fewer miles, it automatically uses less fuel and creates fewer emissions. And yes, transportation definitely matters, but shorter distances do not tell the whole story. Evaluating true sustainability is like solving a giant puzzle. And get this, transportation often accounts for less than 10% of a food's total climate footprint. So what makes up the rest? Well, the environmental impact actually depends on multiple overlapping factors. It's not just the truck ride. You have to consider the farming methods. How efficient and ecological are the growing practices? Then there's storage. How much energy is consumed to keep that food fresh over time? You also have to factor in the packaging systems and the overall production efficiency. In some really surprising situations, an imported food grown super efficiently in its ideal natural climate might actually have a smaller environmental footprint than a locally produced alternative that required massive, energy-intensive greenhouse heating to grow out of season. Beyond the environment, we absolutely have to look at the economics. Buying local organic food has incredibly strong economic benefits for your immediate community. It directly supports family farms, and it keeps your dollars circulating nearby, which strengthens local economies. It encourages regional agriculture, and perhaps most importantly, it builds a resilient regional food system so communities can reliably feed themselves. But to balance the scales once again, imported organic foods play a deeply vital role in modern agriculture too. By buying imported, you're actively supporting international agricultural markets and contributing to global trade. And that global trade network is exactly what ensures our grocery store shelves remain stocked with diverse, nutritious products, totally regardless of the season. The reality is, both systems are vital. Finally, Section 5, Making Smart, Balanced Choices. The Balanced Diet Strategy. So how do we take all of this data and actually apply it to a guilt-free grocery run? Well, nutrition and sustainability experts recommend a pretty straightforward balanced approach. Step 1, choose seasonal local produce whenever it's available. Step 2, get out there and actively support your local farmers markets. Step 3, seamlessly integrate imported organic foods for those items that just aren't grown locally. And step 4, the absolute most important one, focus on your overall dietary quality. If there is one crucial thing you take away from this whole explainer, let it be this thought right here. The most important factor is overall dietary quality, rather than food origin alone. A combination of local and imported organic foods is going to give you the absolute best of both worlds, unbeatable freshness right alongside incredible year-round variety. A healthy diet is about balanced nutrition, for sure, not just geography. We've covered the definitions, the freshness factors, the hidden complexities of the environmental footprint, and the economics of it all. Both local and imported organic foods play a truly valuable role in a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. At the end of the day, it all comes down to your personal priorities, what's seasonally available, and your own preferences. So I'm going to leave you with this. Armed with this totally new understanding of our incredibly complex food system, how will you change your shopping habits the next time you hit the produce aisle? Thanks so much for exploring this with me today. Eat well, shop thoughtfully, and enjoy all the amazing benefits of organic